the latest up-to-date coverage near you.
Closed captioning for this newscast brought to you by Hearing Associates of South Carolina.
From the station that's on your side, breaking news.
We begin this afternoon with breaking news, and you're taking a live look from the courtroom and also right outside the courtroom where the jury has reached a verdict in the murder case against former Minneapolis officer Chauvin. That verdict is expected to be read within the next hour. Just a reminder, Chauvin does face charges of second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. Again, you're taking a live look from the courtroom and right outside where people are just awaiting to hear what the jury came out with that verdict, and you can see the reporter right there just getting ready again to announce what that verdict is. But we are following this big story this afternoon, and we will take you back live once that verdict is read any minute. Could be within the next half hour. Again, we will follow this and give you the latest information. But also happening today, officials have just arrested a man they believe shot 3 people, killing 1 at a grocery store in New York. The shooting killed the store manager, and the other 2 had to be taken to the hospital. They both were conscious. The suspect is believed to have worked at the store, but investigators do not know if he is still employed there currently. We're going to keep you updated as more information comes out of this in New York. Well, here at home, you may have noticed construction going on at Augusta University. That means change is coming as they try to expand in everything from dorms to parking to research. Wrdw is live near the AU Dental College near R.A. Dent Boulevard. Will, what can we expect to see over the next few years?
Well, Zaina, this construction right here behind me is for the new building for the science and math program that's going to be going on here at AU. It's just a testament to the growth that we're seeing here at the university year after year, and it's also a testament to the growth that we'll see, to the long-term impact we'll see coming to the area as well. And all day today, some of those bulldozers and construction workers out here working to build the facility that will bring a huge research facility to the 4th floor. They hope this will help bring in more money, students, and high-level researchers to the area. And getting more students hasn't been a problem, though. AU has seen a year-after-year increase in student enrollment over the past 5 years. They're also seeing a record number of applicants for the 2021 fall semester. AU's president says that this project will help bring in even more students and faculty and grant money that will in turn help the city of Augusta.
And that's great for Augusta because it generates more economic development from that point of view. So that there's a whole cycle of things, spin-offs that take place when you really start focusing on research and you start bringing in individuals that have a long-term impact on the university.
The university also says that they're working to build more dorms and also a large parking deck in this area of the university. Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we take a look at how all of this growth and construction right here behind me will have a long-term impact on the area. We also speak with residents across the street with several problems that they're having with a lot of traffic around the area.
All right. Thanks, Will, for that live update. A lot happening at AU. Now we're going to take a look outside right over Wheeler Road. And Riley, it's been a pretty kind of cloudy day today.
It has been, Zaina. We've been tracking a few showers across the CS area this afternoon, but everything is very isolated currently. Looking at Doppler Max radar, we did have just a few very light sprinkles that moved past the metro here within the last hour. The better chance for rain, though, is going to stay in our southern counties, at least for the next couple of hours. Here's a closer look at Augusta. We did have just a very light shower that kind of moved along I-20 there between Columbia and Aiken County. Overall, not a whole lot of rain, nothing too measurable for us. But a little bit better rain rates found in southern Byrd County near Sardis, Sylvania, Newington, Millen. You've seen a few raindrops out there as well, but this will be the last of the little bit of rain we'll track over the next hour or so. But a wider look at radar, this is all thanks to an area of low pressure that's well to our south, but this is coupled with an upper level disturbance. This is going to be our strong front on Wednesday. This is what's going to bring us some fairly gusty conditions tomorrow, and actually dangerous burning conditions as well. We're actually underneath a fire weather watch for our Wednesday. Here's a current look at the Savannah River, I-20 here, courtesy of EarthCam. Here in Augusta, we're currently at 73 degrees inside the metro. Those winds haven't been all too breezy today, but remember, for our Wednesday, they will be picking up. Very little rain chances this evening for us unless you live well south of Augusta. We'll have a look at that dangerous burning weather tomorrow and then some cool temperatures later in the week in just a little bit.
Thanks, Riley, and we're continuing again to follow breaking news. The verdict has been reached in Minneapolis in a case against former officer Derek Chauvin. That verdict is expected to be read within the next hour, so we're keeping a look. Right now, we do have live pictures from Minneapolis inside the courtroom and out on the street. As you can see, a reporter just on standby right now, waiting for that verdict to be read at any second. Again, Chauvin does face charges of second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. But again, just a live look from the courtroom in Minneapolis. Well, today, Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock weighing in on the Derek Chauvin trial. He says he's been following some of the trial and change is needed.
Equal protection under the law is foundational to what it means to be an American people. We've got to uphold it. And on the other side of this trial, we've got to do everything we can in the Senate to pass criminal justice reform.
And protests sparking in anticipation of this Chauvin verdict. Today in New York City, activists gathered at City Hall calling for state and federal lawmakers to pass legislation that would end what they call the blue wall of silence. They say this is an informal code of silence among police officers to not report on colleagues' errors and misconducts. Across the country, police departments are also preparing for the possibility of rioting or other unrest, with some even canceling vacation time and increasing the number of officers available for shifts. Meanwhile, rallies continue in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, near the area where 20-year-old Dante Wright was shot and killed by a police officer on April 11th. Several people expressed their concerns at the rally, questioning what will it take to have a system where everyone is protected.
This is out of control. We feel unsafe in our building. My kids don't want to be home. We have to do better. But I feel like our community can do better.
Kim Potter resigned from the Brooklyn Center Police Department and now faces manslaughter charges in Wright's death. The development of COVID vaccines continue, and one research office in Savannah is now enrolling patients for a new plant-based product. It uses a plant leaf that is made to look like the virus, which then allows the body to identify and fight it off. Officials say it's worked in the flu vaccine and proven effective and safe.
This vaccine has no DNA material in it. It literally is made from a plant leaf, and it's super simple and neat in its design.
The vaccine is still a 2-series injection, but Dr. Bradley says it offers a more natural option, and options are key, especially with one vaccine on pause for right now. President Biden taking a virtual tour in the Palmetto State today. It's part of an effort to pass the White House's almost $2 trillion jobs plan. He received a virtual tour of the electric bus and battery manufacturer Proterra in Greenville. It's one of the companies he hopes will put Americans back to work. Well, CVS says it'll start selling over-the-counter COVID testing kits in stores and online beginning this week. 2 of the kits it'll sell are rapid tests and will deliver results within 15 minutes. The third type of test is a PCR product that will take up to 2 days to return results. The tests are available with or without a prescription. Europe's drug regulator said today that it found a possible link between Johnson & Johnson's COVID vaccine and rare blood clotting issues in adults. They say a warning about unusual blood clots with low blood platelets should be added to the vaccine's labels. They also found that all instances had occurred in adults under 60 years old, mostly women within 3 weeks of getting their vaccine. It also said that most clots occurred in the brain and abdomen, similar to AstraZeneca's vaccine, and reiterated that the vaccine's overall benefits outweigh the risk. Legalization of marijuana, that's what Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling for. He says marijuana charges have harmed people in the long run, pointing out that several states have legalized marijuana and the experiments have proven successful. Schumer says for decades, young men and women of color have been disproportionately arrested and jailed for even carrying a small amount of marijuana.
A charge that often came with exorbitant penalties and a serious criminal record from which they might never recover. Being rejected from job after job. I believe the time has come to end the federal prohibition on marijuana in this country. And I'm working with Senators Booker and Wyden on legislation to do just that.
Schumer added the war on drugs has become a war on people. 2 more colleges are being added to the list of schools requiring a COVID vaccine for students. That's Yale and Columbia University. This will be required for all students who return to campus next fall. The schools are also considering a similar measure for faculty and staff. A number of colleges, including Duke and Rutgers, have implemented similar plans for students returning to campus. Well, still ahead, a little boy is still alive after a near-death experience. How lessons he learned a year ago were put into action, and how parents can prevent a similar situation. And if you're thinking about getting out this summer and doing something fun, an opportunity is just around the corner, and we'll tell you where. Riley?
And we do have a first alert in effect for Wednesday for some dangerous burning conditions. We'll have a look at that next, coming up in your full forecast.
For 10 years, the company blamed for deplorable housing at Fort Gordon has refused an I-team interview. Until now.
How are your soldiers living? If you can't answer that question, you've taken your eye off the ball, right?
Thursday on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Everyone surprises along the way. It's easy. It's convenient. It's the Zaxby's app. Download it today.
Breaking news this afternoon, if you're just joining us, a verdict has been reached in the murder trial of former officer Chauvin. That verdict will be read in the next half hour. And as you can see right now, a small group has begun gathering outside of the courthouse in Minneapolis. The city and other major cities all over the country have been preparing for large groups on streets following this verdict. Again, you're taking a live look from Minneapolis, where a verdict has been made in the Chauvin trial. It could be read any minute, but we are following this, and we're going to take you back live once that verdict is announced. In other news, a toddler in Florida managed to save himself from a near-drowning experience with life-saving skills learned at just 2 years old. Waukesha Bailey has this story.
I know what could have happened. Like, that's when I get emotional. Like, I realize how bad it could have been. I mean, if we hadn't heard the splash and he hadn't had swim lessons, I don't know if he'd be here.
Kyle is only 2 years old, and he saved himself from almost drowning last week in his family's pool.
Split second, we heard a splash.
Kyle's mother, Tracy Siegel, says their home is undergoing renovations. As a result, the pool fence has been removed, and Kyle's older brother left the door open that led to the pool, and out the door Kyle went.
We saw Kyle float to the top, roll on his back, and swim to the edge of the pool and get out, himself fully clothed.
Kyle's swimming instructor, Tony Anna Caponelli, gives Kyle a high five after he demonstrated effortlessly the roll back and float method that also saved his life.
So we teach lessons through sensory motor and through water levels in the water and through touch.
Anna Caponelli is a certified infant resource instructor. She's taught hundreds of babies to swim and float at her infant swimming resource swim school in Royal Palm Beach.
Due to COVID and everything, he was out of lessons for quite a while. He came back to me for about 4 lessons. It was about a year lapse, and he still maintained the skills that he was taught a year prior.
She says it takes repetition and commitment from parents like Siegel and, of course, Kyle.
Sure, bye-bye.
Crazy story right there, but glad he's okay. Caponelli says learning to swim is essential for young kids, and according to the CDC, drowning is one of the leading causes of death for children under the age of 4. Well, check this out. Staycations may be a thing of the past as we get ready to head into summer. More than 2/3 of Americans plan to travel for vacation over the summer, according to a new survey by TripAdvisor. Beach getaways top the travel wish list. Hello, yes, with Florida and Mexico being the most popular destinations. And one place to visit closer to homes is Carowinds. They're getting ready to welcome guests back to the park starting next month. They are one of the many places opening up after the pandemic forced them into a hiatus. The park will be open to all season pass holders for their welcome back weekend before it opens to the general public. And the park's welcome back weekend is on May 16th and 17th for season pass holders only, and anyone can go starting on May 22nd. And Carolina Harbor Carowinds Water Park will open on May 29th. Temperatures are going to be checked and masks are required for anyone over the age of 2, but geez, this just goes to show everything's starting to return back to normal. Things are opening up, and summer is just around the corner. It's a nice time to do it. What better way than to go to an amusement park than the summer?
Hey, Carowinds is a lot of fun, a lot of childhood memories there, growing up just outside of Charlotte. So, yeah, head out to Carowinds. Good time there. But as far as the weather goes, we do have some fairly dry and gusty conditions expected on Wednesday. That's going to combine together to create some very dangerous burning conditions. We do have what's referred to as a fire weather watch. This is in effect for our entire viewing area. So for the entire CSRA, we do have a fire weather watch in effect between Wednesday 2 and 8 p.m. That's when we're expecting those winds to be gustiest and when that air will be driest. So let's take you through it. We're not too breezy out there this afternoon, and we're not really going to notice the winds really start to pick up tomorrow till we get past lunchtime. Later tomorrow afternoon, that's when we're expecting those winds between 15 to 20 miles an hour. These are your sustained winds. We'll likely see some gusts up to 30, possibly even more than that. So also give those high-profile vehicles a little extra room on Wednesday, too. Those winds will stay gusty even into our Wednesday evening, but start to calm down Wednesday night. And then throughout the day on Thursday, definitely not as windy as what we're expecting Wednesday, but still some dry air in place. We could see a light breeze at times that will make it just not ideal to burn again, most likely on Thursday. But here's a look at that dry air we're anticipating tomorrow afternoon. Relative humidity below 30%, could even get down into the teens in some spots. So with that very dry air in place, that means anything that gets started fire-wise will just, extreme fire behavior will be possible. So just not ideal to burn out there tomorrow through tomorrow evening, but we should start to see better conditions later into the week. So we do have a first alert in effect for our Wednesday, just in anticipation of those very gusty conditions, not ideal to burn whatsoever. And we do have a wind advisory in effect for some of our western counties as well. So definitely anticipate a much gustier day than our average day in the CSRA, and stay away from any choppy waters as well. If you're planning to head up to the lake, definitely stay safe because we're definitely going to see some gusty conditions out there. Now here's a look at Doppler Max radar. We actually have been tracking some snow over Tulsa, Oklahoma, Fayetteville, Arkansas, seeing a few snowflakes out there this afternoon. This is going to be the strong front that moves through tomorrow for us, bringing us those gusty conditions, but no rain in our forecast heading into tomorrow. We are tracking some rain out there this afternoon, though, mainly across our southern and eastern counties, Screven, Allendale, portions of southeastern Burke County seeing a few raindrops, but generally dry conditions anticipated for the rest of this evening and to tonight. But that first alert is just for some very windy conditions tomorrow. On Thursday, take a look at those morning temperatures. Waking up in the 30s on Thursday and then getting close again, waking up on Friday.
Thanks, Riley. Well, check this out. This Palm Beach estate, formerly owned by Jeffrey Epstein, is coming down. Demolition for the 6-bedroom mansion started yesterday in Florida. This is one of the many homes Epstein owned all over the world. He was investigated for running a sex trafficking operation for several years. He died in federal custody back in 2019. NASA's next crew of astronauts are getting ready to head to the International Space Station in the SpaceX Dragon capsule. That's happening Thursday just after 6 in the morning is when they're going to launch. 4 astronauts will make their way to the launch pad at Kennedy Space Center. They've already practiced everything in a dress rehearsal with ground crews to make sure everything runs smoothly.
One of the practices that we did was the dry dress rehearsal, and that's where the crew actually gets suited up. They get into their vehicles, the Model X's that come across, and bring them out to the pad. They go up in that tower that you saw there and across the crew arm. They get into the seats in the Dragon and basically walk through everything on the timeline as if it were launch day.
This is the second contracted mission launching as part of NASA's Commercial Crew Program. Again, they're launching on Thursday, so we're going to be sure to follow that. Sometimes it's a challenge to hear people talk, but with the help of an app, it miraculously eliminates that noise, so all you hear is the person speaking. We're going to walk you through how it works after the break.
Enter
12 at 6 o'clock.
As we all get older, it gets more difficult to hear and understand people in crowded spaces. Hearing aids are one solution, but not everyone wants to get them. Jamie Tucker has found another solution with the app of the day.
Heard That is one of the most amazing apps I've ever seen, or heard. I discovered it over a year ago at CES in Las Vegas, long before its release in the app stores.
Heard That is an app that helps people hear in noisy situations like CES here.
Matt Potma showed me how it works.
We use our smartphone to listen to the ambient noise of the environment, and we clean out all the background noise and just push through the audio, the speech of the person that you're trying to talk to.
Padma explained the app uses artificial intelligence to do its magic. Using earbuds or headphones, the user will point or lay their phone down with a microphone pointed toward the person talking. It's difficult to demonstrate without trying it yourself, but Heard That's video is a good example.
So, maybe you're just hanging out in a mall food court. So, maybe you're just hanging out in a mall food court.
Padma let me try it before the release, and as he talked in the crowded room,
I can only hear your voice. That is amazing.
like your AirPods. Those work great.
Heard that just released for iPhones and Android devices. It is free at the moment, but will require a subscription at some point in the future. I'm Jamie Tucker, and Heard That is the app of the day.
This is just amazing. I really want this, or maybe you know someone who needs it, but you can find the Heard That app in the Apple and Google's App Store. So if you want to try it out, it's available, but pretty neat idea. Riley?
That is a very cool idea right there, and to see it work like that, incredible stuff. We got some cold mornings later this week, waking up Thursday down into the 30s. Yeah, not feeling like April for us. Then look at that 7-day forecast next.
I trust you.
All right, here's a look at how the rest of the week's going to be shaping up for us. Heading into tomorrow, we're expecting a very windy day, very dry air in place. So we actually do have a fire weather watch in effect tomorrow. Somewhat rare for our region. We usually don't see these all too often, only about once a year. So don't burn on Wednesday. Terrible conditions for that. On Thursday, we're going to wake up most likely in the mid to upper 30s. So pretty chilly start Thursday morning for us. And then heading into the weekend, unfortunately, Saturday is still trending fairly soggy for us. Widespread rain totals potentially over an inch heading into the first part of the weekend. That first alert tomorrow is for those windy conditions. Definitely do not burn anything. It will extreme fire behavior will be possible. For Thursday, a little bit on the cool side. Temperatures waking up in the 30s, and then heading into the weekend, watch out for rain Saturday.
Again, we're waiting for the verdict to be read in the Derek Chauvin trial. That should happen any moment now. Right now, this is a live look outside the courtroom. We'll be following this after a quick break. The news continues here on First at 4.
All right, soldier. From the station that's on your side, breaking news.
Breaking news this afternoon, a verdict has been reached in the murder trial of former officer Derek Chauvin. That verdict will be read sometime between now and 5 o'clock.
As you can see in these live pictures on the screen, there's a group outside of the courthouse waiting there in Minneapolis. That group has been growing over the last few minutes, and the other camera shot was actually the place where George Floyd lost his life there on the street, and that is the camera that's we're watching move around there. A crowd actually growing in both places. People all over the country and around the world watching this trial, waiting for these results as people gather and wait, and the verdict should be coming soon so far. That's all we know is soon.
It's just a matter of when, but once it does happen, we will be sure to take you back live right there in Minneapolis where that verdict could be read at any second.
Now, just before we get away from these live pictures, just to go over what's at stake here, the charges against Derek Chauvin, second-degree unintentional murder. That comes with a prison sentence of up to 40 years. There's third-degree murder. That's up to 25 years in prison. And there's second-degree manslaughter. That's up to 10 years in prison. So it goes in scale there from second-degree unintentional murder of 40 years down to second-degree manslaughter of 10 years in prison. The jury will weigh in on all that, and we're waiting to hear, and we'll let you know just as soon as we hear something out of Minnesota this afternoon. Moving on now, we've told you about THC products around the region that might be marketed toward teenagers. Some have turned up in Aiken County.
That's right. The sheriff's office found them during a traffic stop, and now they're warning you. Brady Trapnell looks at why this is so important.
Well, Zena, the Aiken County Sheriff's Office put out that warning to parents, so today I've been calling around to law enforcement and even our local schools to see if this is an issue to keep an eye on. I actually talked with a narcotics investigator with the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, and he says it's been about 2 years since they've seen or even confiscated THC edibles in our community. Deputies would only maybe expect to see it in the hands of a high schooler, and in our larger school districts, Columbia County, Richmond County, and Aiken County, no products like this have been found. But Aiken Public Safety Investigator Jason Griffin says parents should keep an eye out.
You know, these packages that we've intercepted, you know, look just like a candy that you would buy out of a grocery store. We've seen it, nothing recent here in the city limits of Aiken, but we have seen it.
And investigators say that it would take someone trafficking the drugs here from a marijuana legal state, and these types of edibles are actually very expensive. We'll have more on how school districts in South Carolina and Georgia are responding on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Brady, thanks very much. Let's have a look outside now as we